Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today we are looking at the G.I. Joe Classified series, Cobra Techno-Viper. Um, this is one of the troopers that was on my list. When Classified was announced, I made a nice long list of all the figures that I wanted, and this was definitely one of the troopers that I was excited for. I know that, he's not probably at the top of most people's lists, but the purple with the weird little accessories and the hoses and the on and on and on, the weird sort of Transformers head that he has. This was just a figure that I was really excited about. And I'm very, very excited to finally have it in hand. I say finally. I mean, the line's been going on for 3, 4 years now. It's not as though this line is very old, but they're going through the list of my wanted figures very, very quickly. My list is getting very, very short. Let's take a look at the packaging. So we're back to the window boxes, of course. You got the art on the side, the big window where you can see everything that's in the box there. When we go to the side, we see the blue digital render, the QR code, and these small skill set icons there. We get them a little bit bigger on the back, or a little bit clearer on the back, I guess. A really, really cool shot on the back of the Techno-Viper in Japan, I guess. Just based on the alphabet that's there. Couple details get called out there. The sort of wrist communicator thing, as well as the backpack. A bunch of legalese on the bottom and on the bottom. And then on the other side, we get the full art, looking good, looking menacing, and he is number 117 for those of you that are keeping track of the numbers still. I'm not a completist anymore, so I've kind of given up on those. Anyways, there's the box, but let's get this guy out of the box. All right, so here is the Techno-Viper in all his purple glory. It's a pretty good figure. My first impressions are that there's a couple miscues, but there's a couple things that I really, really like. The color palette obviously speaks for itself. That being said, there's a couple hits of the silver that are not super, super crisp. I will give them that the sculpting probably didn't make that job very easy. But the silver could have been a little bit cleaner. I got a couple loose joints too. The waist is a little bit loose. The head is a little bit loose as well. The articulation in the head is not good. He can look down that far. He can look up that far. The helmet is limiting. It doesn't allow for much. He looks side to side just fine. But there's a barbell in there. And the barbell doesn't allow for much motion just because of the design that they've chosen for the head. That's okay. For the most part, I think of this guy kind of looking forward most of the time anyway. There's an interesting thing going on with the shoulders here. So that shoulder pad moves with the shoulder. When I first started moving the arm around, I thought this was split. So I thought this little strap underneath the armpit was split. Like damaged, but it's not. I think it's split because it moves around, and to not damage it, you have to split it. It seems to be attached inside the socket there underneath, which allows you to get pretty decent range of motion without that thing sort of popping out of place or moving around on you, and it'll rotate with the arm. So I think they've done well there. They're also covering up the bicep cut that I really dislike, which is that straight cut one where when I move the arm, you get a very obvious break in the sculpt. But these little shoulder pad things actually cover that up pretty well. So I'm good with that. That seems like a really good solution to a funny little problem that annoyed me. I don't even really care what the top of the shoulder joint looks like because it's covered by that elbow pad. The butterfly joint has sort of minimal articulation just because of, again, the sculpting. It doesn't go very far back. It doesn't go very far forward. I don't know that it would be able to anyway with that shoulder pad. These little wrist things are cool. So you got one on either wrist, and they've got different different design on either. So that's got, you know, a little sphere with some detail work on it as well. This one, sorry, absolutely smashing into the camera. This one says Cobra, with some more details there as well. So those are pretty cool. That just floats, so that's not fixed, and I think that is a good call because, you know, as you're posing this guy up, you'll see when we get to the accessories, you may not want it to be sort of right on the outside. You may not want it right on the top. You may want it somewhere else on the arm, as far as sort of some functionality that thing gives you, which, as I said, we'll get to when we get to the accessories. But the figure itself, you know, accessories aside, is a pretty good figure. It's a pretty decent figure. It's not the best one, but I mean, I think with the Techno-Viper, the accessories kind of make it, in the sense that this guy's just a trooper, so he's, you know, he's got a specialization with some cool tools. So let's take a look at the accessories. Starting off, he comes with a pistol. We've seen this before. I believe this came with the bat. It may have come with other figures as well. I can't remember. Then we get the backpack. So the backpack is pretty cool. There's you know, 2 canisters and some valves, some slots here. You can see, you know, just a standard peg on the back. Then we get a hose, which is going to plug onto the backpack and onto other accessories. We get his vacuum cleaner gun laser thing. I'm not sure what it is. Like, genuinely, I don't know what it is in canon. I assume it's some sort of like laser rifle. And then we get the little accessories. So these are fun. These are like he's called the Techno-Viper, but he seems to be very handy. There's all these little tools. So there's sort of like a little grabbing claw hand type of thing. Another grabbing claw hand type of thing. These must have slightly different purposes. These are all nicely sculpted, no paint detail on them. And then my favorite of the three, the Techno Hammer. So he's gonna bang you over the head with his Techno Hammer. And then this little thing, which I think is really, really cool. So this is a red translucent piece. There's sort of a Cobra logo right in the center, some graphs, you know, some different data readouts, just a really, really cool piece. And getting back to the figure, this plugs into either of the 2 wrist display things, which I think is a really, really cool concept. So this is, you know, his like digital heads up display thing. There's no paint on it at all. I think hitting it with like a very, very, you know, very light black wash to just fill in some of those gaps will make this thing pop a little bit better, because as it is right now, you can see it gets when it catches the light, you know, it's nice, but otherwise it can kind of look a little bit odd and kind of like nondescript. But anyway, the loadout is fantastic, really, really fun. These are, of course, all going to plug into the slots on the backpack, which with the vintage figure, I just thought that was so cool. These are the kind of figures that I got really excited about as a kid. You know, the ones that had a lot of functionality, a lot of play value, sort of attached to the figures as a result of having all this stuff going on. So super, super cool there. And then, as I said, the hose is going to plug on to the backpack. I think you can sort of pick one or the other of the tanks, and then pick the accessory that you want to attach it to. In this case, I'm going to attach it to the laser rifle. And again, just really, really fun figures to play with because of all these accessories that that sort of go along with it. Anyway, I think am I doing this wrong? Is the backpack? Yeah, the canisters go up. Okay, I couldn't remember. The canisters go up or down because there's a handle on the bottom. So you can carry it that way, I guess, but it goes on the back that way. Anyway, I'm going to get this guy all geared up and posed up and give my final thoughts. All right, so here's the Techno-Viper all geared up and posed up, and this guy looks really, really cool. I'm really digging this. I'm very, very happy with this figure. I'm glad that we're getting, more variety in the troops. I love all the troops, all the Cobra troops, but this is definitely one of my favorites. I just think that the loadout is really, really cool, and the color palette is a ton of fun. I just love the purple, and the red, hologram thing just really works. The silver pops really nice. It's a nice metallic silver. Despite it not being the crispest silver paint, I'm still really, really digging this figure. And it's one that I would very, very strongly recommend. If you're into Cobra Troopers, I mean, I totally get if this guy doesn't do it for you, whether it's the purple, whether it's the tech stuff. I know that some people prefer the more realistic to the sci-fi, and so whatever your fancy, collect how you want. But I love the modern, updated, near future fantasy sci-fi stuff. So this guy checks all the boxes for me for sure. So I would, as I said, strongly recommend you go and pick yourself up probably at least a pair of Techno-Vipers. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And if you don't want to miss future videos, hit that bell icon to get notifications of future videos. Till next time, bye-bye.